Thank you for joining us tonight. You're now with me, Shamina for TVS Nightline. Let's begin with the headlines tonight. Gabungan Party Sarawak, or GPS, tonight launched a 34-point manifesto for the 12th Sarawak state election. The manifesto will lay the foundation of Sarawak's development if the mandate is returned to the coalition. Its chairman, Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri ABANG JOHARI Tunopeng, led the announcement via live telecast, joined by its party machineries and candidates via teleconferencing.
34 manifesto GPS ini adalah sangat komprehensif yang akan memperjuangkan hak Sarawak, menjamin hak rakyat, menjaga kebajikan rakyat dan membangunkan masa depan Sarawak. Dengan mandat penuh daripada rakyat Sarawak untuk tempoh 5 tahun lagi, GPS berjanji dan bertekad untuk terus melaksanakan lebih banyak inisiatif bagi meningkatkan kemajuan, kemakmuran, kesejahteraan dan kegemilangan demi rakyat Sarawak.
Among the 34 manifestos are empowering efforts to protect and conserve nature, intensifying youth and women's participation in Sarawak's development, eradicating poverty in urban and rural areas, to name a few. ABANG JOHARI also announced the establishment of a sovereign wealth fund to strengthen the state's financial status, and that Sarawak will be responsible for its own future.
Sarawak memerlukan satu gabungan parti politik anak Sarawak yang kuat dan bersatu bagi berjuang membela nasib rakyat Sarawak tanpa dikawal dan dipengaruhi oleh parti-parti politik luar. GPS telah berjaya mentadbir Sarawak mengikut acuan sendiri dan boleh membuat keputusan tanpa merujuk kepada mana-mana komponen parti di peringkat persekutuan.
Sarawak continues to leverage on its resources in developing the state. As such, GPS has initiated more than 100 game-changing initiatives to spur the state's economy to a greater height, in which the people will reap its benefits.
Antara projek-projek strategik berskala besar yang sedang dalam pelaksanaan dan memerlukan masa untuk disiapkan adalah: 1. Pembinaan 786 km lebuh raya Pen Borneo dengan kos 16.1 bilion ringgit dijangka siap pada tahun 2024. 2. Pembinaan 242 km projek jalan utama kedua yang melibatkan 3 jambatan, iaitu Sungai Lingga, Batang Seribas 2 dan Batang Lupar 2 dengan kos 6 bilion ringgit yang dijangka siap pada tahun 2026.
The initiative also involved the construction of over 300 telecommunication towers to increase internet coverage in Sarawak and to achieve 100% coverage of electrical and water supply in the state by 2025. ABANG JOHARI also revealed that a total of 1.06 billion ringgit have been allocated for the implementation of over 6,000 rural transformation projects (RTP) in the span of 3 years. As Sarawak also faced difficulties when the COVID-19 pandemic hit globally, the GPS government have allocated a total of 5.3 billion ringgit to help Sarawakians who were greatly affected by it.
GPS juga telah melancarkan strategi pembangunan pasca COVID-19 2030 pada 22 Julai 2021 untuk melonjakkan pembangunan Sarawak. GPS yakin dengan mandat yang penuh rakyat PCDS 2030 akan dilaksanakan dengan jayanya.
Gabungan Party Sarawak or GPS has proven its worth as the ruling coalition in delivering development. So far, the coalition have been constantly delivering every development announced for the past 4 years under the leadership of Chief Minister Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang JOHARI Tun ABANG.
Mesti ambil masa, tapi sudah buat. Kalau jambatan yang saya nak sudah buat. Dan dia start jalan. Ada orang cakap, anak orang tidak ada. Tunggulah kalau dia ada. Nanti dia juga makan sana. Buat raya nanti dia juga guna raya. Kita buat, when I said it, we deliver. Bukan macam orang lain. Dia kasih, 20%. Sampai nyari tidak ada. Oh, kalau saya jadi perintah, saya iktiraf, recognize UEC. Mana?
He said this during the groundbreaking ceremony of the Kota Sentosa Hawker Centre at Kuching. Social media is now being used as a platform for various parties for campaigning, leaving it to the people to judge.
This election, tengok rekod saja. Saya tidak mau cakap pasal orang lain. I don't want to talk about other people. You just see our record. Ini social media ni, you value lah. You judge which one is good, which one is correct, which one is standard. People don't underrate people also. People have intelligence to judge. That one I leave to you lah, to judge whatever is written in social media.
On the other hand, the Kota Sentosa Hawker Centre construction project is expected to boost economic activities in the area, as it will provide a conducive, safe and people-friendly amenities for the community.
Memang benar kalau kita punya penjajah ini, dia berniaga, tidak itu tempat susah. Niaga pun jadi susah. Jadi ini kita buat tempat yang tetap. Saya tengok tadi dia punya atap pun retractable. Boleh buka katup, buka katup, buka katup. Mana ada market itu macam. Jadi kita sudah ada satu building yang begitu baik sekali. Cantik juga untuk orang makan.
Meanwhile, Padawan Municipal Council Chairman Lokier Chiang said the 2.4 million project is expected to be completed in July next year, noting that the new infrastructure and facilities was a gift to the community in Kota Sentosa.
The total size of this hawker centre is 1,614 meters square. And this project is a special gift by GPS government to the hawkers of Kota Sentosa.
The civil service is the engine for the government. Therefore, the Public Service Commission has to adapt for the needs of the future as envisioned by the government. As the world now transitions to digital economy, the civil servants are told to utilize new technology in line with the digitalization policy in Sarawak.
We are going to a digital economy where every facet of life now is based on technology. In other words, we also have to have civil servants who are recruited into the civil service, who are visionary, who can help the government. Of course, the government has the vision, but the implementers is very significant in order to realize the objective of the government. The whole structure will change because of technology. And we are engaging with international investors.
Abang Johari said this during the Public Service Commission's 60th anniversary celebration at the Sarawak Legislative Assembly building today. The economy of tomorrow will change. Hence, the Sarawak government is currently engaging with international investors who are now utilizing technology in their businesses, he said. The Chief Minister also stated that the state government will not exert pressure to the Public Service Commission and will ensure that the Commission will remain as an independent institution.
Government cannot be the employer like before. Government is there just to facilitate, and government has certain objective. So in other words, no longer like before lah. Kalau makai kita kata kerja sini kerjaan. But now it is changed. It's more the private sector.
Meanwhile, Abang Johari disclosed that the state government will relocate the Public Service Commission's office from the current office at Wisma Satok to a new office on the 16th and 17th floor of Hikmah Exchange. Hikmah Exchange is expected to be completed by the third quarter of next year.
Roads play a central role in rural development alongside basic amenities like water and electricity supply. Needless to say, good roads in rural communities are vital to the growth of the agriculture sector and its contribution to the economies. In Tabaduk, for example, road connectivity is no longer an issue with sealed road connecting the villages. However, as agriculture is the main economic sector here in Tabaduk, many have expressed their hopes of having agricultural roads connecting their farmland. Now we spoke with the incumbent Dato' Amar Michael Manyin to find out more on this.
So what is required today is not the infra alone, but how to provide connectivity to the farmland. So that's why our emphasis now is to build a farm road. We started about 3 years ago already to do our RTP. We get 300,000, 200,000 to build farm road. So once the farm road is available, there's no point to talk about land and all this if there is no connectivity. When the farm road is available, I think that more and more people utilize. So we hope that through that, we'll be able to uplift the living standard of the people in N21.
He added the farm road connectivity would greatly improve the socio-economic activities and the livelihood of Tabaduk and its surroundings.
Memperoleh kemahiran inovasi,
belajar daripada sejarah.
Sense of economic revival right now impacted a lot of businesses.
Yang boleh di-groom untuk jadi jurulatih.
A clear picture on what you want to achieve.
Women entrepreneurs are able to sustain.
Baguslah kalau dapat ialah di bawah
E-voting.
Usahawan.
Untuk laporan komprehensif pilihan raya Negeri ke-12 Sarawak, tontoni Sarawak Decides. Setiap hari mulai 9 pagi, hanya di TVS saluran 122.
Cepat! Pak sini! Bukan ni mesti campur Oh, sambal!
Pernahkah kau merasa sepi?
Sepi.
Atas desakan hidup, Merah melakukan rompakan dan dihukum penjara.
Sepi itu sendiri telah menjadi temanku.
Setelah dibebaskan, Merah berazam untuk mengubah hidupnya apabila bertemu dengan kasih.
Tidakkah kau pernah mengharapkan kehadiran seseorang teman yang memahami? berkongsi memecahkan seraput sunyi itu, Mira.
Lakonan Dato' Awi dan Zena Zen, saksikan Merah arahan Dato' M. Nasir Sabtu ini jam 9 malam hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan My TV.
Welcome back to the Nightline. And now on to the next update. A total number of 10,548 officers and police personnel, as well as the General Operation Force alongside their spouse, will have to undergo early voting this December 14.
Sarawak Police Commissioner Dato' ID Ismail said the voting centres comprise of the Sarawak Contingent Police Headquarters IPK, District Police Headquarters IPD, conference rooms and schools.
Jadi yang kita ketahui sebanyak 85 pusat pengundi awal dengan 111 saluran akan disediakan untuk proses pengundi awal.
On the other hand, ID said for the state election this time, 4 units comprising 188 personnel will be deployed to ensure the early voting runs smoothly.
Iaitu 2 di Batalion 11 dan 2 lagi di Batalion 12. Dan unit baru juga dibantu oleh satu unit water cannon yang berada di Batalion 11 Kuching.
In addition, ID also said that a total of 7,343 personnel from various units had been mobilized to be on duty on polling day December 18, compared to the 5,522 personnel on duty on nomination day December 6.
Police will not compromise with anyone caught placing bets on the results of the state election that will be held this coming December 18. Sarawak Police Commissioner Dato' ID Ismail said he had instructed the Special Branch and Criminal Investigation Department, CID, to monitor allegations of individuals betting on the election results in the Dudong State constituency.
Saya pun dah mengarahkan supaya pihak Cawakas dan juga JSJ untuk memantau perkara ini dan tindakan undang-undang akan diambil kepada mereka yang cuba menganjurkan such atau nama aktiviti lah. Dan saya bagi amaran kita tak akan berkompromi lah. Kita akan bertindakan sewajarnya supaya tidak timbul isu perjudian semasa PRN.
ID said this when commenting on allegations by Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS candidate for Dudong, Dato' Sri Tiong King Sing, who is also the Progressive Democratic Party PDP president and Bintulu Member of Parliament, that he had received information of bettors targeting this particular state seat. Failure to abide with the standard operating procedures set for the Sarawak state election. A candidate contesting in Krian was slapped with a fine of 4,000 ringgit. The incident occurred during the nomination day on December 6 after he said candidate submitted his nomination papers. It is said as he exited the nomination centre, his supporters gathered around him in high spirit, ignoring the SOPs.
Sarawak Police Commissioner Dato' ID Ismail said in a statement only the said compound had been issued by the police since the nomination day. ID said throughout the election period, political party candidate that organize event or meeting have to obtain permit from the police. Meanwhile, for ministerial or governmental event, permits must be obtained from the Sarawak State Disaster Management Committee. As of December 7, a total of 103 application of permits have been accepted by the police from parties that will be contesting for the state polls. For the early voting, ID said 10,458 members of the Police and General Operations Force GOF will cast their vote on Tuesday next week, December 14. A total of 85 early polling centres will be established statewide.
Over 10 longhouses in Kampong Stalon, Belawai can now enjoy full electricity supply starting today. Coupled with other infrastructure to be carried out in less than 6 months, they also allow the ABANG community there to enjoy good internet access.
GPS Kuala Rajang candidate Dato' Len Talif Saleh said, despite the village is remotely located, its resident has never been neglected. With such facilities provided, residents will not have to be dependent on generator for electricity.
Kerana kita tahu untuk membawakan prasarana seperti ini, kemudahan seperti ini tidak murah. Misalnya di sini, elektrik di sini kita membawa dengan harga kos lebih daripada 14 juta untuk 10 buah rumah panjang yang terdiri pada tidak lebih daripada 300 bilik. Itulah usaha kerajaan walaupun melibatkan kos yang begitu tinggi.
He also pointed out that more infrastructure development are in the pipeline, such as connectivity.
Dan dalam segi perancangan jangka panjang, kita telah diumumkan di dalam Dewan Parlimen yang lepas oleh Timbalan Menteri Kerja Raya, di mana perancangan sedang dibuat untuk menyambung Tanjung Manis dan juga Stalun ke Kedang dan Paloh.
The government also plans to build a link road to connect Kampung Stalun to Kedang and Paloh in the long run.
As the state election day draws near, several people have expressed their aspirations for the next government who will be governing the state, with initiatives emphasizing on prosperity, well-being and a glorious Sarawak.
The next government mula banyak digital pun line or whatever lah, tower and so on, just to get opportunity dengan sidak baru, angkatan baru, generasi baru, supaya mereka dapat kerja banyak ke jalan-jalan worldwide lah, digital, and then dari segi ekonomi dapat menambahkan orang-orang kita bekerja dalam urusan digital lah. Kerana without digital tu kita akan jadi backwards. So hope the next government akan bekerjasama dengan generasi yang akan datang, memberi peluang pekerjaan. Ialah diharapkan kami lah. Kerana generasi kini tu yang muda akan menerajui pimpinan.
In terms of connectivity, Sinang hopes that via the Pan-Borneo Highway, it would expedite the implementation and connectivity by providing better services to the people in rural areas. Similarly, Eunice Lau, a pharmacist, hopes the leaders will be able to intensify road developments so that the rural folks are able to have easier access to healthcare.
In terms of transportation, of course, we hope there will be an ease in transportation, especially for those in rural areas. Hopefully that things will pick up faster, as well as we say in terms of connectivity. Of course, we want them to be able to come out and access healthcare, access even normal daily goods as easy as us who are staying in the city. Yeah, so hopefully, after this election, hopefully things will be, promises will be fulfilled, and also, they will be delivered as well.
Cepat! Pak sini! Bukan ni mesti campur Oh, sambal!
Benarkah kau merasa sepi?
Sepi. Atas desakan hidup, Merah melakukan rompakan dan dihukum penjara.
Sepi itu sendiri telah menjadi temanku.
Setelah dibebaskan, Merah berazam untuk mengubah hidupnya apabila bertemu dengan kasih.
Tidakkah kau pernah mengharapkan kehadiran seseorang teman yang memahami, yang sanggup berkongsi memecahkan selaput sunyi itu, Merah?
Lakonan Dato' Awi dan Zena Zen, saksikan Merah arahan Dato' M. Nasir Sabtu ini jam 9 malam hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan My TV.
anda mengalami kesulitan mendapatkan maklumat mengenai perkhidmatan awam, MyGCC sedia membantu. MyGCC merupakan gerbang komunikasi bersepadu untuk menyalurkan perkhidmatan kerajaan menggunakan satu nombor perhubungan tunggal iaitu 03 8000 8000. Komunikasi antara rakyat dengan kerajaan boleh dilakukan melalui pelbagai saluran komunikasi iaitu telefon, SMS, email, media sosial dan chatbot CT@MyGCC. Komunikasi dengan setiap kementerian dan agensi persekutuan boleh dibuat melalui MyGCC. MyGCC membolehkan rakyat membuat pertanyaan, cadangan atau aduan 24 jam, 7 hari seminggu dan 365 hari setahun. MyGCC memudahkan cara komunikasi antara rakyat dengan kerajaan melalui penyaluran maklumat yang sahih, pantas dan terkini. MyGCC, satu nombor perhubungan untuk semua.
Thank you for staying with me. Now on to our world affairs. A blind soccer tournament kicked off in Mexico City with teams made up of blind and visually impaired players using an adapted ball. Players compete with blindfolds over their eyes and use a ball that rattles to guide players. The goalkeepers are the only players on the pitch who do not have a visual impairment or wear a blindfold.
The soccer field is also different, with a fence around the pitch so that the ball does not go out of play. Player Renato Rivera said that blind soccer has sharpened his other senses, improving his navigation of daily life in and around Mexico City. With more than 2 million people reported to have a visual impairments in Mexico, organizers of this competition say blind soccer helps by building inclusion in sports. Blind soccer has been a feature in the Paralympic Games since 2004.
Intel plans to take self-driving car unit Mobileye public in the United States in mid-2022. The chip giant Intel expects to retain Mobileye's executive team and hold on to a majority ownership in the unit after the initial public offering of newly issued Mobileye stock. Now, Intel has no intention to divest or spin off its majority ownership in Mobileye, and it will continue to provide technical resources to the automaker.
The partnership continues to yield strong revenue along with free cash flow to Mobileye that allows funding of the autonomous vehicle development. Intel bought Mobileye for $15.3 billion in 2017, putting it into direct competition with rivals NVIDIA and Qualcomm to develop driverless systems for global automakers. Car makers, including General Motors, Ford and Toyota, are racing to shift from gasoline-powered lineups to all-electric power. Mobileye, founded in 1999, has taken a different strategy from many of its self-driving car competitors, with a current camera-based system that helps cars with adaptive cruise control and lane change assistance. Despite being owned by Intel, Mobileye has never used Intel's factories to make its chips, instead relying on Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing for all of its IQ chips to date. The Wall Street Journal first reported Intel's intent to list the shares.
Western Antarctica was plunged into momentary darkness on Saturday, December 4, during a dramatic total solar eclipse. The southernmost continent experiences continual daylight from mid-October until early April, but the eclipse brought a few minutes of total darkness.
A solar eclipse occurs when the moon moves between the sun and Earth, casting a shadow on Earth, fully or partially blocking the sun's light in some areas. For a total eclipse to take place, the sun, moon, and Earth must be in a direct line, and the only place that this total eclipse could be seen was Antarctica. The eclipse was partially visible from South Korea, Chile, New Zealand, and Australia on Saturday.
And that concludes TVS Nightline for tonight. Here with me, Shol Shamiato, and I'll see you next time. Have a good morning.